Hey.
Oh, yeah. Hello. Oh, sorry about that.
Calvary Kids, Pastor Robbie and I have been having fun making some silly faces. Can you show me some silly faces? How about a shocked face? How about happy? Sad? Funny?
Yeah, this is a blast, but I am excited because it is time to dance. Are you ready? Let's go, Calvary Kids. I want to see those dance moves.
Spaceman, you're not an alien, you're not from Krypton, you're not a figment of my imagination, of my imagination. You're not a fairy tale, you're not make-believe, you came from heaven to be the friend that I can always count on, that I can always count on. Hear me shout it out, oh. Superhero, Jesus is my best friend, whoa, whoa. Jesus is my best friend and superhero, Jesus is my best friend, whoa, whoa. You are the hero, you are the good guy, you are the savior, and I know that you're always gonna be there. Yeah, you're always gonna be there. When I'm in danger, when I'm in trouble, when I'm surrounded, well I know that it's you that I can count on, that I can always count on. Let me hear you. Hear me shout it out. Oh. Superhero, Jesus is my best friend, whoa, whoa. Jesus is my best friend and superhero, Jesus is my best friend, whoa, whoa. Stronger than Superman, faster than the Flash, bigger than the Hulk man. Jesus, what a friend. Stronger than Superman, faster than the Flash, bigger than the Hulk man. Jesus, what a friend. Let me see you do it. Stronger than Superman, faster than the Flash, bigger than the Hulk man. Jesus, what a friend. Stronger than Superman, faster than the Flash, bigger than the Hulk man. Jesus, what a friend. Stronger than Superman, faster than the Flash, bigger than the Hulk man. Jesus, what a friend. Stronger than Superman, faster than the Flash, bigger than the Hulk man. Jesus, what a friend. Goodness of our own, the seed of faith and righteousness you've sown. The sins of the world you did atone. We are forgiven, never alone. Sing it out, say, you shield us from our enemies. You're the glory and the lifter of our head. You're here with us, you're here with us. Fear abandoned in your perfect love. You're here with us, you're here with us. We are not forsaken, promise you won't leave us alone. Oh, 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 you'll never leave us alone. Oh, 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 you are life with no beginning and no end. Our today and our tomorrow's in your hand. You go before, order our steps. Your favorite forever, alive in your plan. You shield us from our enemies. Lifter of our head. You're here with us, you're here with us. Fear abandoned in your perfect love. You're here with us, you're here with us. We are not forsaken, promised you won't leave us alone. Oh, 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 you'll never leave us alone. Oh, 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 you're a faithful Father. You claim us as your sons and daughters. We stand secure in the promise of your love. You're here with us. Fear abandoned in your perfect love. You're here with us. You're here with us. We are not forsaken, promised you won't leave us. Come on, you're here with us. Fear abandoned in your perfect love. You're here with us. You're here with us. We are not forsaken, promised you won't leave us alone. Oh, 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 you'll never leave us alone. Oh, 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 you'll never leave us alone. Woo!
Hey Calvary Kids, we are in week 4 of our 12-week series, Where's Jesus? This has been such an incredible series. I absolutely love learning about Jesus and how we can find him in all of the stories of the Bible. I especially enjoyed hearing from Pastor Erica last week on the story of Joseph and how God has shown us that we are his favorite, just like Joseph was his favorite. Today, we're going to continue our journey to find Jesus, and our path takes us through 3 books of the Old Testament, Exodus, Numbers, and Leviticus. This is the story of a man named Moses, but before Moses became a man, he was a baby. Specifically, he was an Israelite baby, and when he was born, the king, known as Pharaoh, had captured all of the Israelite people and forced them to work for him. Pharaoh was afraid that there were too many Israelites living in Egypt and ordered that all of the baby boys that were born to be killed. That meant Moses was supposed to die. But in Exodus chapter 2, we see where Moses' mom places him in a basket and hides him in the tall grass at the side of the river. Pharaoh's daughter goes down to the river and she sees the basket with a baby inside. She saw the baby and felt so sorry for him that she decided to adopt him, and she named him Moses. Instead of being killed, Moses grew up in the palace of Pharaoh and lived as a prince. God showed his favor on Moses and spared his life. Jesus protected Moses in a basket and caught the attention of Pharaoh's daughter to save him from Pharaoh's orders to be killed. But Moses didn't stay a baby. He grew up. And every day Moses saw Israelites being treated terribly by Pharaoh's men. One day, he just couldn't take it anymore. He got in a fight with one of Pharaoh's men and he accidentally killed him. Moses knew that Pharaoh would have had him killed for what he'd done. So he fled from Egypt to a place called Midian. And it was there in Midian that Moses found his new family and became a shepherd. One day, God appeared to Moses as a bush that was on fire, but the bush wasn't burning. That's so weird, right? Like if I saw a bush on fire and it wasn't burning, I'd want to go get my eyes checked. But what Moses saw was real, and God told Moses to go back to Egypt to free the Israelites from Pharaoh. Moses could not believe it. Why would God choose him of all people? Moses told God that he was a nobody. He was a murderer, and he even had a hard time talking. Surely God could find anybody else. And what God said to Moses is where we find Jesus in our story today. God said to Moses, I will be with you. Calvary Kids, Jesus is with you. And with this newfound confidence, Moses went back to Egypt and did exactly what God asked him to do. Through Moses, God performed miracles and even sent plagues to persuade Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. One time, God even made it rain frogs from the sky. Can you imagine? I would not want to catch any raindrops on my tongue in that storm. Eventually, Pharaoh listened to Moses and agreed to let the Israelites go. Moses had done what God had called him to do. He led his people out of Egypt and headed to the promised land. But Pharaoh had a change of heart. He sent his army after Moses and the Israelites to capture them and bring them back to Egypt. Like, are you serious, dude? Just when we thought we wouldn't have to deal with this guy again, here he comes with his entire army. The Israelites were so afraid, and they told Moses they wished they would have never left Egypt. But Moses had learned to believe God and trusted that Jesus was with him. God told Moses to raise his staff over the Red Sea, and God parted the waters and made the land dry so that Moses and his people could walk across the Red Sea in between ginormous walls of water. Pharaoh and his army chased after the Israelites. Once they were all in the path between the walls of water, God closed up the Red Sea and it washed Pharaoh and his entire army away. Moses had led the Israelites out of Egypt and into freedom, and they were all safe from Pharaoh. Best part is that Jesus was with them the whole time. Calvary Kids, Jesus is with you today. No matter where you are or what is going on, Jesus is with you. Like Moses, sometimes you may ask why God chose you. You may think there's someone that's better fit for what God is asking you to do. But God doesn't call the able. He enables the ones that he calls. God is giving you everything that you need to go and do what he's called you to do. Remember that Jesus said, I will be with you. Our memory verse for today is Romans chapter 8, verse 31. Since God is on our side, who can be against us? Walk boldly and know that Jesus is with you.
Calvary Kids, what an amazing message from Pastor Adam. You know, Moses didn't know if he was the best, but God knew. God called him and appointed him to do exactly that, to free a whole nation. God has called and appointed you, and I would love to pray for you today. Please close your eyes and bow your head. Dear Jesus, I thank you for every Calvary Kid. God, I thank you that you are in them and you are going with them, just like you were with Moses and the Israelites. God, no battle, no mountain is too high that you won't cross with them. God, I thank you for every one of these boys and girls today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hey
kids, we're ready to have some fun. Now, just like in the Where's Waldo book, you're trying to find Waldo. We've created something special for you today where you're going to be looking for Jesus. That's right. You're going to be trying to find Jesus in the picture. Now, you're going to have about 30 seconds to locate him in just a moment, and we're going to do this twice. The first one's going to be kind of easier, and then the second one is going to be a little bit more challenging for those of you that think that you can find him really quickly. Okay, are you ready? And what I want you to do when you find Jesus is I want you to freeze your screen and have your mom or your dad, your brother or your sister, take a picture of you pointing to where Jesus is at so they can show us that you found Jesus in these pictures. Are you ready? We're going to put 30 seconds on the clock here. You have 30 seconds to locate Jesus, and you may begin in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, great job on that first one. Now, this second one is a little bit harder. It may take some of you longer than 30 seconds, but try to do it in under 30 seconds. Are you ready? Here you go in 3, 2, 1, go! All right, wasn't that such a good job? I'm sure you guys found Jesus quicker than I even thought you would. But what I'd like for you to do is make sure you tag at Calvary Church CC, send that to me, send that to Pastor Erica, send that to Pastor Adam, send it to one of our leaders so we can see that you found Jesus. Hey, have a wonderful week, and we're going to see you next week right here at the same time. We love you.